What's going on, everybody? It's Coach Jan, and this is Tai Chi to the People. We are back, presented by Justice for Hire, the world's first show produced with a global community, a cinematic universe made with where anybody can participate and be their own hero or villain. And you can join the cast from justiceforhire.app. Every week we do these Tai Chi to the People events at Tuesday at 8 p.m. EST, 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific time. So it's always free. You're always welcome to join. Bring anybody you want. Tai Chi is one of my favorite things to share. So I love doing this. And every week we dedicate our training to a noble cause. But this week and for the foreseeable future, we are focused on our WeFunder campaign to build our studio, to make more shows and movies with the audience, with the community. You can go to WeFunder.com/realworld, REELWURLD. If you'd like to invest, learn more about what we're doing, first and foremost, and potentially invest and own part of the company. So it's real great stuff that we're doing. Tai Chi has a lot to do with how we're building the company. So it is a major component of my business thinking as well. I'm also just recently announced that I'm the head coach of the World Series of Tai Chi Push Hands, the head judge, excuse me. And that'll be happening on March 26th, Saturday, March 26th. It's a $1,000 prize for the winner, and the person who essentially beats all of the competitors gets to face off against me, and it's gonna be great. So, and that's how you get the full $1,000. It's gonna be great. So, you gotta beat me. Lots of fun stuff. So, with that in mind, we're gonna be training this month, really focused on the World Series of Push Hands and focus on new rule sets that are really not seen that much in the States, and actually completely new rule sets. Based off of Taiwanese style sports fixed step push hands, more specifically Tai Chi World Cup style fixed step push hands. So we're going to do some warming up. We're going to go into our Neigong exercises, but the Neigong exercises are going to have specific intentions to help you train skill sets for the World Series of Push Hands. So it's going to be great. So palms facing down, imaginary string lifts you from the top of the head. Boom. Tailbone drops straight down. Feel cascading relaxation wash down head to the tailbone, through the vertebrae, through the spine, softening the muscles around it. All the organs feel like they're naturally hanging. So any tension that might be holding the organ in any particular angle softens out. And then they naturally sink and sag and hang inside the body, allowing the circulation to smoothly go through. The feet are parallel. And parallel, you can take your fingers and just draw a line between the pinky toe and the ring toe, and just draw a line straight back to your heel. Notice that it'll cut off part of the foot on either side, a straight line, and you align that imaginary straight line of the feet to each other. That's how you make your parallel. Weight mostly on the heels, knees sit slightly bent. Inhale to the belly, with the mouth closed, tongue sealing the mouth, and all the breath going into the lower dantian, which is 3 finger lengths below your belly button, or about 2 inches. And it's not this point right here, but it's actually this point right here in the center. So you go down to here, align yourself visually, and you inhale, use the belly to inflate and pull, take pressure off the lungs and pull the breath in. But you also catalyze the visualization in this area, the color visualization. Obviously, the breath is going into your lungs, but you're using the belly as a focal point for the visualization and to help centralize your attention. And by centralizing your attention, feeling more of the energetic expansion in that area. So inhaling to the belly, giving the sensation of breathing in color, and letting it trace down to the belly, gathering here. Exhaling, going up through the shoulders, down the arms, to the palms and fingertips. This is called Gilded Pillar. We'll do about 6 more breaths. Dropping the hands down. Inhale, breath lifts the wrist. Exhale, wash the colors of the palms and fingertips. Inhaling up, drawing a collar to the belly. Exhaling down, uplifting heaven, this is called. Inhaling up, stretching out of the hips onto the toes. And exhaling down. Inhale, breathing formula number 2, breath into the belly. Inhale even deeper. Interlace the fingers, exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhale, wash out. Breathing formula number 3. Inhale, stage 1 inhalation. Inhale even deeper, stage 2. Even deeper, stage 3. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. 4-stage inhalation. Even deeper. Even deeper. Even deeper. Exhaling down. And we'll do one more time, except we'll do belly. Then the oblique muscles will support the belly. And then the lower back muscles will support the belly on stage 3 of the inhalation. And on stage 4, the entire belt will activate. Belly, obliques, lower back. Go for it. Belly. Even deeper obliques. Deeper lower back. Deeper the entire belt. Exhaling down. And soften, widen the stance. Fix this camera a little bit. Hollow fist resting right on the hips. Notice that I'm looking like I'm doing some meditation here, but it's actually gentle hollow fist or hang. Punch and squeeze, just as skin kisses skin, or about an inch or 2 at the very least. Very close before impact. Inhale into the belly. Exhale, pelvis rotates on the femur. Inhale, breath pulls you to the side and up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Reverse. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. 2 more. Rotating, keeping the knees bent. Inhaling up. Exhaling. Dropping the hands down. Inhaling up. Exhale out. Inhaling deep. Exhaling. I want to get right to this sports push hand stuff today. Normally we do a little bit more than go. I'll turn this light on. The concept here is that we're doing fixed step push hands, fixed step sports Tai Chi push hands. And fixed step push hands, we've talked about this in the past, and you've seen it. You can watch a lot of my videos online. You're standing, and normally you can't move either foot. In the US, sometimes they have something called restricted step, which is kind of like playing on a straight line, and you have to stay on the line. And some judges are lax about, this person kind of stepped here, and so it's not a bad game by any means. It's actually a great game, but that's what we're doing. What we're doing today is fixed step with a little bit of expansion upon the Taiwanese style, where you can actually lift your foot up and place it back down on the pedestals that you're going to be standing on. The pedestals are essentially they're slightly raised, and they're very specific to where your foot is placed. So meaning that you can't step off the pedestal and you'll lose. The other person will get a point. So for this version of sports Tai Chi fixed step push hands, you're going to be able to lift your foot up and place it down, meaning that you can be playing here and you can throw someone down and put your foot back. You can get your leg out of the way and put your foot back. You can't sweep necessarily. We're not doing any of those for this particular version of the game. Normally, we are contemplating a full body head to toe fixed step push hands, which will be very interesting for wrestlers. And I think that if we integrate that, then we'll probably have to do some chokes and things like that, because if a wrestler comes down and to grab this, get you in a single leg, ideally you can, slide a guillotine in there. But I digress. Let's focus on Neigong exercises for this tournament. So there we go. We'll go for one. One, we're going to inhale and reach across. This is just a little blast to walk into the backhand. You'll have one hand on the elbow, other hand the wrist to wrist with your opponent. You're going to inhale, reach. This is a bicep blast. So you'll see it in pummeling, in wrestling, but it's done with a different intention in Tai Chi push hands, the way that I've trained it under Coach Josh Waitskin, the way that I train my team, which is essentially focusing on your bicep, sometimes the upper part of the forearm, to knock the opponent to the side. So on go, I'm going to call go as the judge, and you're going to be able to blast and hit your opponent. I've made some videos on this that you can check out, and I'll put a little link to it here. But blast, hit the opponent, and the opponent will likely get hit and step. It's a great way to reposition the body. So we're going to do some Neigong here. Inhale, reach. Exhale back from the side. Inhale, reach. Exhale back. Now look at the coordination here. Notice how I'm slightly standing up, collapsing back into my stance. Inhaling, slightly standing up, collapsing back into my stance. I'm not turning, I'm just going down. Inhaling up. Here I'm turning, going forward, and I'm not turning my hip. I'm not pushing my hip out. I am inhaling, my hip is being pulled out. Two different concepts. So pushing the hip, boom. Sometimes you do push the hip. That's not what we're doing here though. So you want to be really clear on the push or the pull in your own mind. Inhale, the breath pulls the fingers pull the body, including the hip. This other hand is sliding to the side, meaning that you have your wrist to wrist with the opponent, you're sliding the wrist to the side, kind of like praying mantis. You can do a grab, but I don't recommend it. I recommend more of a sticking snatch, and boom. So you pull the arm and hit the shoulder, the shoulder lat area, and boom, just blast it right across. We'll go for a few more, 4 more. Inhaling out, side. Middle finger. Notice that I keep my elbow down as much as possible. I don't push it down, I just keep it relaxed. I want to relax through that. There are versions where you do this. We talked about that before, the inflating the tricep. Obviously, look at this. If I do that, if I inflate the tricep, look at this area. There's no part of my body in this area. So you keep the elbow down because you want to make sure that the tightest area, the straightest line possible, gets to hit your opponent. So boom, like that, as much as you can. So keep my elbow down. If I need to turn even more, sometimes I will, but if I do, I'll straighten my arm a little bit more so I don't have that rounded space for the opponent to essentially only take part of my impact up. And the impact is not me attempting to hit them hard, it's me doing my best to create a shape that takes their place. So the shape that I'm creating, by nature of the shape, moves them out of the way. Again, different intention. The intention is less about hitting somebody. Obviously, I want to hit them very hard. So I'm not saying that I don't want to hit them hard. I'm saying that my intention specifically is to create the cleanest, strongest shape. And that by nature of that intention, the ripple effect is them getting hit hard. So we're talking about chain reactions of intention. By this intention, these other things happen. So, it's like the concept of I provide the best service to the world, therefore I make the most money in the thing that I do, versus I want money. So you can see the difference here. Someone who's working just for money versus somebody who's working for, let's say, a purpose, etc., and money following the purpose. It's the same concept of your structure, creating a great structure and creating it instantly with breathwork visualization, to be strong, and that strength knocking your opponent to the side. And so just different intentions, and it changes the way that you do things. It changes the way you look at things, and things you look at change. I took that from Wayne Dyer, great guy. I'm not sure if you took that from somebody. Switch sides. Same leg, same wrist forward. Hand, palm on the elbow, and inhale, up, down, up. So the yin hand is this hand. The yang hand is the energizing fingertip. They're both energizing a bit, but the emphasis is on the lead that pulls, that's being pulled forward. Obviously, this hand we talked about, the lead hand is going to snatch to the side, so there's a little pull there, but it's a different type of pull. This pull, this is strategy. So, and I'll talk more about this too, but the strategy is you're pressing on the opponent, and you know they're going to push and you redirect. So this hand redirects, their push is coming towards you. You're pulling it, you're still allowing it to come towards you a bit, because you can't just, you're likely not going to just pull it straight to the side. You're going to give up some space here and turn it that way. So notice that my distance changed, otherwise I'd be over here if I kept it the same. So it's coming in, I'm going that way, but I'm using the diagonal. So the snatch is the diagonal. But just the snatch is the diagonal. Snatch is the diagonal. So here, it kind of looks like crane fist. It could also look like praying mantis. So. Notice the palm. Notice the finger. Notice the bicep. Middle finger as high as the nose. Side. Great. So now I want to do one more drill with you guys today. It's going to be a short session today. One more drill. We just did something that claims your space in the front leg. So the front leg being, again, boom, I'm in my front leg. I'm on my pedestals. I can't really, I can move my legs, but you can't step off the pedestal. So I'm here, boom, boom. Again, boom. The opponent likely takes a step. If you execute it with the right timing and strategy, they take the step, you get the point. Great. Next thing, let's say they come at you and they start doing caging on your knees, because you can do caging in this. You can always kind of do caging and fix that push hand. Caging is something that it's very sophisticated. It is not talked about a lot. My Sifu Keith Tong taught me caging, and it could be called other things in other martial arts, I'm sure. But again, there is a science behind blocking the knees and the legs, cutting into the knees and the legs, using intention in different ways. I have not come across many people that have systematized it. So when I found the terminology when I was a teenager, caging, I thought it was very, very interesting. So, and I've always focused on it. So caging essentially is, from my experience, using very specific stance work to impose your stance on another person's stance, your opponent's stance, and to make them trip, fall, etc. Of course, again, in Tai Chi, you step, in lots of martial arts. I was just watching a Muay Thai clinch video yesterday. They clinch on the body lock, they come up, they step the stance around, they turn and twist the opponent over the leg, and they dump them to the ground. So that's essentially a caging technique. But again, that is one technique, and it's like the concept of striking versus boxing. Boxing is a system, striking it could be lots of things. So caging is a system. These leg blocks, etc., that you do might just be one single technique that is essentially a part of something that's can be very, very specific. So to the point, we're here. Someone tries to cage you. Maybe you're playing, your opponent's knee is going to be on their lead leg is going to be right next to your knee. So that means that they can drop the knee in, you can turn the knee in, etc. If that happens, it won't feel good. And so what you may want to do is get your leg out of the way. But notice that as I got my leg out of the way, look how much space I gave up. I gave up all this space. And again, these are sophisticated concepts that that a lot of players just a lot of players do not have this. I'm going to be very blunt. A lot of people are not playing the game on a level of, especially in the United States. In Taiwan, they're really, really good. But outside of Taiwan, there's not a lot of folks who are playing, understand that if I give up even a centimeter of space in my front leg, it could be a real problem. So if you're going to give up this space here, I'm going to use the wall as an example. Look at this. I'm playing against an opponent. Maybe I'm doing a push hand. They're blocking into my knee, this knee right here. So I might give up this leg for a second. Notice how I'm bracing on them, making them part of my structure. So that is an interesting strategy to play with, and I've done that several times, especially across my push hands career, but specifically when it comes to this new rule where you can lift your foot up and get the person out of the way. If you can lift your foot up and pull them into the hole that you're creating, that's fantastic. But just be cautious that if you lift your foot up and give up space, they may follow you back and push you over your own legs, and therefore you lose the point. So conscious there, but let's do a Neigong exercise that is a hybrid of something that Ian Morgan, one of my father's first student, that was a friend of mine from my high school, pro Muay Thai fighter, an amazing human being, my first choreographer, fight choreographer for action films, and we won a lot of awards together. He's brilliant. I will say this, he took Old Man Rowing the Boat, took this exercise, and he adapted it to Muay Thai. And he started doing this, inhaling up, exhaling, and he'd inhale and come back. And if you're looking at me right now and you're saying, oh, wow, that's interesting, or you're saying, oh, that sucks. I mean, the bottom line is that I'm doing this exercise without all the nuances that should be going into it. I'm just showing you because we're not going to do that right now. I have a video on that, you can watch it. But what we're going to do here is we're going to adapt his adaptation of Old Man Rowing the Boat to this new push hands rule. So we're going to inhale. Imagine you're playing with a player. They push you and they start causing a challenge on your knee. So you take the knee out and you push up. So I'm bracing on them. I might be giving up some space here, but I'm taking space up here. At the very least, I'm not giving up the space up here. So if I push my body back, look at my hands in relation to the door behind me, to the door frame right there. So if they're on the door frame, if they are the door frame, notice that I've given up space in my body, but I've maintained space on my hands. So this is a super important concept. Super important concept. It's even in the Tai Chi form. It's literally right here in Grandmaster Williams Chen's Yang form. Boom, boom, right there. So I maintain space while I distance myself. It's in the Wu style form. It's right here. Similar concept. So I'm here. I place my hand and I watch it. Do it here. 1, 2. Look at my hand right here. My left hand. I keep my eye on my middle finger, and I keep my hand at essentially doing my best to keep it at the same distance and distance my body as I fan out. Same thing as in the Luhabafa water boxing young hybrid form that I do. Dropping down, coming up, and boom, same concept. It's the Wu. Boom. This time you fan up and boom, roll forward. But you're still maintaining a similar distance. Maybe you change height, but you maintain the distance of the position of the palm on a particular plane. So, So your x-axis, your y-axis will remain the same. X-axis will remain the same. So let's do this Neigong exercise again. Adapting. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. You can also think of it as doing a push-up in the air. I'm pushing off one place in the air and lifting my foot up. Exhaling down. Notice that when I'm exhaling down, this is not arbitrary. I'm dropping my elbows, softening my elbows, and I'm cupping my hands in just a little bit. I'm cupping my hands in because it could be any particular martial moment that you might be dealing with. Right here, this position is mimicking the concept of having your hands on your opponent's shoulders. Hands on the shoulders, or let's say even potentially in the armpits, where you have this position where your forefingers are in, your thumbs are out. Maybe you have all the fingers in. I recommend getting the thumb out and doing a lift and a roll. That being said, whatever you have, being able to play right here, you might need to transition to one side or the other. So over here, my elbows are down, my hands are slightly cupped. We'll do 4 more, and then we'll switch legs. I will say this, for these sports push hands Neigong exercises, meaning that when you adapt them to the sport, I do not recommend putting your weight on your heel on the back leg. So when I'm here, I'm not sitting Neigong style on my heel like I would in, let's say, Golden Rooster, which that's what this exercise is. Instead, I've shifted, I keep my weight maintained on the ball of the foot rather than the heel, on the ball of the foot. So I keep it on the ball of the foot because I want to keep the aggression. I want to keep the forward energy. When somebody, when you want an actor or actress to deliver a more authoritative performance, sometimes you'll have them stand on the balls of their feet. And I've talked about this many, many times, but there's a primal aggression that comes with that weight distribution versus the passivity of the heels. The heels, passive, ball of foot, big toe, there's more aggression. Passive, ball of foot, big toe, more aggression. Also, it's as simple as space. I'm postured up. I'm infringed on the door frame a little bit more. If I look at the door frame in the background, I'm farther away from the door frame. I'm closer to the door frame. So it'll just keep you that much closer. It'll make you that much more ready to pounce. And also, and the other thing about it in terms of ready to pounce, you're here, you're getting distance, and your opponent who's trying to take out your legs, think about this for a second, is over here now feeling the more intensified pressure on their upper body from you. So they switch the focus to the lower body. They might be trying to do something with your upper body, but they switch the focus there, and you've intensified the upper body by nature of this stance. I want to talk about this one moment for a second. So you bridge dominant, you pick up your leg. You might pick up your leg and you might bring it back. You might bring it across. You might bring it out. You're going to do whatever you need to do for whatever the situation calls for to make sure that that person loses their balance while you maintain yours. So that means that however you need to put that leg, notice I'm adjusting my hands too. So if I do this, I may drop them down, boom, and then take my spot on the pedestal back right away. So here, 2 more. One more. And switch legs. Maintain. I will use this line to the line of the refrigerator right there. I'm going to use that line for my right hand, this hand, and that'll be where I stop. So create some distance, pick up. And obviously, I'm also working on refining this. That's why it's really great to have a visual, something to measure your own accuracy, such as how I'm using this little line right here. Again, this is really an interesting and wonderful addition to the game, to the sport, because this full pickup. I mean, one of the things that we talked about was, imagine you are, people can pull you. If they pull you off, if you push them and then they pull you off, if you haven't gotten, if you push them, they step off the pedestal, but they're still holding onto your hand, and you haven't gotten off. They can still get, it could potentially be no point, because if they pull you off, if this was a situation where, let's say you're fighting on the top of a rooftop or on a street, and you push somebody into the street, but then they pull you into traffic too, that is a loss for you. So we want to make this really practical when it comes to the importance of you getting the opponent off of you, and like completely off of you. So when it comes to these moves, boom, create some distance, going up. You really want to be able to take them and boom, let them go down. Take them, drop down, go up. Take them, boom, pull them across. Whatever you need to do, take them and then use this to turn them. Whatever you need to do to get them to lose their balance. I highly recommend focusing on these moments, training them with a partner if you have one. If you don't have a partner, don't worry about that. Focus as much as you can and show up to the tournament. World Series of Push Hands, World Series of Tai Chi, or WSOTJ.com is the tournament website. But if you look at the World Series of Martial Arts, World Series of Jiu-Jitsu, World Series of Push Hands, it's all part of one umbrella. Like I said, I'm the head judge of the World Series of Push Hands, so I'm really, really excited about this. Today was short, but I want to make sure that we're starting to drill some really practical stuff. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm always happy to expand upon these ideas. We are building as a community. I think it's really, really important for the martial arts community, the Tai Chi community in particular, but also the new communities that are going to be coming into push hands, because we're doing this. Every martial art should do push hands. Every person, in my opinion, should do push hands, and that's because it is a bridge to everything else. I as a person who's I fought semi-pro Sancho. I grew up in a Kung Fu and Tai Chi family. Like, the practical application of push hands, I'm probably preaching to the choir right now, but I mean, just practical in terms of life, in terms of moving with other people. It allows you the sensitivity and the positioning and the strategy to just be in good places before you go to a particular type of executed move. What I mean by that is like a choke, an elbow, a knee, there's all these different throw. Push hands gets you there. It's the distance between, it's all the information in between. And I think that that's really one of the things that's missing from martial arts as a whole in terms of the coaching of martial arts, the articulation in all martial arts is the evolution from point A to point B and all that information in between. Too many people are left up to their own devices, and there is a system that actually guides you. And I think Tai Chi has that system. Push hands is a very practical way to experience that system. And I think that we as a community are going to supercharge what push hands is, and it'll become something that it's going to involve all martial arts. So I say that with respect to all martial arts and gratitude to all my teachers and all of you who participate in our lifestyle. So as martial artists. So I love you guys. Let's finish up with some stretches. Uplifting heaven twice. Feet, 2 fists apart. Parallel. Inhale out. Fingers back. Chest up. Hips forward. Weight the toes. Exhale a lot back. Soften. Going up. Fingers are back. Chest up. Pitch forward with the toes, exhale, go back. Slap up. Up the inside, down the outside, over the shoulder, down back. Inhaling up. Soften down. Chest. Tap around the pectoral major, perimeter, massage into the muscle, into the pressure point for the lymph nodes. Floating rib up. Other side. Sternum, the immune system. Collarbone. For the reproductive organs, look up, soften the reproductive organs. Palm, collarbone, chin, go up, strong pressure. Relax. Back away. And down. Up, reverse it. And up. Guys, thank you so much. Have an amazing day. Reach out anytime you have any questions, thoughts, ideas on Tai Chi, on push hands, on anything we're doing here. JusticeForHire.app is how to join the cast and of our show. Being produced in the community worldwide. It's pretty awesome. I'm in the cast too. It's real fun stuff. WeFunder.com/realworld for what we're doing with our studio, building a platform for people to make movies and shows together and really change a lot of things in Hollywood that I think need to be updated. So if you want to be a part of that story, if you want to own a piece of that company, of our company, WeFunder.com/realworld. These training sessions, Tai Chi to the people, are always free. So please always tell people about them and always feel welcome, whether you watch on YouTube after we record live, or you can come live to the Zoom sessions. I'll also be launching a Tai Chi Patreon in the coming days, and I'll have exclusive coaching sessions on there to give what I've been given in coaching. Yeah, I remember saying to myself, I had a Tai Chi coach. I had Josh Waitskin, and I had a bunch of teachers, but I never had a coach. And it's totally different than having a sifu. It's totally different than having a teacher, a sensei, a coach. And to be able to have that and to look around tournaments and see nobody else had that, it was a big deal. Very few people, and the Taiwanese had it, and that's why they're the best, because they're thinking about it differently. So I want to be able to share that with you as students and as teachers. So whether you're a student or a teacher, this is going to be valuable for you. So look out for my Tai Chi Patreon, Coach Jan's Tai Chi. It'd be great. And what else? I love you guys. Have a great night.